First, I want to say thank you for everyone who's been watching, commenting, doing all that fun stuff. And for this, we're going to be talking about some black figures that have disappeared from our food aisles. So, let's get right to it. When you want some breakfast, what do you like? Eggs, bacon, waffles, grits even? Or pancakes and syrup? Well, today's disappearing figure comes from one of those popular pancake and syrup brands. You know what I'm talking about. What's her name? I'm pretty sure you've got it by now. Aunt Jemima is the name that I'm looking for. Aunt Jemima has been the mascot, namesake, and face of the popular pancake brand since 1889. Well, who is this Aunt Jemima lady I speak of? Well, Aunt Jemima is a caricature from minstrel shows back in the 1800s. Aunt Jemima is a representation of what is called a mammy, which is a depiction of a black woman as usually larger, dark skin, usually bigger lips, with a headscarf on, an apron, maybe a handkerchief on her shoulders. And oh, she's so sweet, happy, ready to serve, wait on in submission to massa. For this brand, they actually hired on a real Aunt Jemima by the name of Nancy Green, and she would do things like sometimes cook pancakes for events and things. Nancy Green wasn't the only one to portray Aunt Jemima. There were many other women that were hired on to do pancake demonstrations as Aunt Jemima. For example, Agnes Moody, Anna Robinson, both from Chicago, and also Lillian Richard, who is from Hawkins, Texas. In 2020, Quaker Oats Company, which is the parent company that acquired Aunt Jemima, announced that they will be changing their branding and getting away with this racial, stereotypical caricature, Aunt Jemima, during that crucial part of 2020 where there was uproar and protests and outcries for change due to racial injustice. Now they've rebranded to be the Pearl Milling Company. The picture of Aunt Jemima has now been replaced with a picture of a flour mill, and they have a pledge to support the empowerment of black women and girls. And as of 2020, you can walk through the pancake aisle, walk through the syrups, and see the new Pearl Milling Company brand. For our next figure, we're talking rice. You know, that orange box sitting on the shelf you see when you're walking down the grocery aisle? Blue letters? You know what I'm talking about, right? Now, at least once in your time of eating any type of food, you picked up this box of rice before. Maybe when you was younger, you used to eat it all the time, or when you was in a tight pinch for money. Uncle Ben's Rice is the name of the brand, and Uncle Ben is our disappearing person for today. Uncle Ben has been the face and namesake of a parboiled rice company for many years. In the 1940s, the company started as converted brand rice and was a supplier to the US and British armies during World War II. After marketing the rice as beneficial to the public, in 1947 they officially rebranded as Uncle Ben's converted brand rice. Some don't know whether Uncle Ben was a real person or not, but it's said that Uncle Ben was an African-American rice grower. He was such a great rice grower. He had excellent harvesting techniques and excellent practices in rice growing that his rice was one of the best quality rice, whole grain rices. His rice was so good that he became the standard of whether other rice growers knew if they were growing rice well or not. So, what's the problem with the name? Well, it's referring to him as Uncle instead of Mr. or even just Ben. Uncle and Aunt were used as demeaning terms to black people, while Mr. and Ms. were reserved for the greater-than-thou white folk. In 2020, Mars Incorporated, which is the parent company of Uncle Ben's Rice, announced that they will be rebranding along with other companies amidst the racial tensions in the United States. Now, the company is simply Ben's Original. They even released a scholarship in partnership with the United Negro College Fund. Hopefully I could still apply. I could use that. They still kept that familiar orange color and that recognizable blue lettering that you can now see on their new packaging in store. I just realized a couple months ago or so that it was even changed. I saw the logo and I was like, wait a minute, what's Ben's Original? Where's the dude at? This appearing figure that we're going to be talking about is a part of a brand that's the counterpart, I guess you could say, to our heart healthy oats and maybe the cousin of grits. Do you know who this man is?
Ooh, y'all are really testing me on some stuff that I hate to say it. I hope I don't sound ridiculous. I don't know who this man is. I mean, he could be walking down the street. I wouldn't know a thing. Sorry to this man.
Well, he was the face of Cream of Wheat starting in the early 1900s. This character was based off of a chef named Frank L. White, but was called Rastus, or known as the New Rastus. Frank White was born in Barbados in 1867 and came to the U.S. in 1875. he actually was a chef or a cook or at least somebody who worked in a restaurant, and it was said that he was found in a Chicago restaurant where he was photographed, and that photograph would then be used as the inspiration for the new Rastus. Some aren't too sure if it was actually him.
I wish we could have cream of wheat for a change. Yeah, at least they got a black man on the box.
So Rastus is also sometimes associated with Uncle Remus, who also happens to be the husband of Aunt Jemima. So all these three characters, Rastus, Remus, and Jemima, are all minstrel show caricatures. This new Rastus was a smiley, friendly Negro that was familiar to America. As you can guess, going with the theme, along with the other companies, Cream of Wheat decided to do a package evaluation and remove the Rastus image from their brand, leaving a simple identifying name of Cream of Wheat. Again, going to your local store, you can see the same red box for the original Cream of Wheat up on the shelf, just no more Mr. Rastus or Frank L. White. Honestly, when I first heard about this whole situation with the brand changes, getting rid of these people, my first thought was, well, there goes black people that we're not going to be seeing on our packages anymore. And yes, it was kind of like a, disappointing thing. Even the family of one of the Aunt Jemimas, Lillian Richards, said that they didn't even think that they should be getting rid of the Aunt Jemima because Lillian was honored for what she did and people were proud of her, and they thought that that would be an erasure of her history. I thought at one point the company said that they were going to be putting all the Aunt Jemima's histories and stories on each of the boxes. I didn't see that. Apparently there was a lawyer named Sheila who was supposed to be getting put on the boxes as a new mascot. I didn't see that either. I don't even know if that's true. To me, this seemed like a call to action and then a jump to a response of let's just get rid of all this because we don't want to have to deal with any more of the hatred. I do believe maybe the companies also learned that, we shouldn't be using this, so let's actually change. And I've looked on the websites and they acknowledge that there was a change in their branding, but there's no acknowledgement of why there's a change in their branding. Actually, one does have it, but you have to go to the FAQs and go to like the 4th page to find why they actually changed it, because someone asked that question. If these figures were real people, then maybe the companies could share the stories behind them instead of just immediately getting rid of everything associated with them. You won't move forward if you don't take a first step. So I do appreciate that these companies have acknowledged the issues, that the stereotypes that these brands have portrayed, and they've taken the step to make a change and have even offered some scholarships and funds to the black community. These aren't the only 3 companies that have made changes. You got Land O'Lakes made changes to their brand. Even Miss Buttersworth changed the bottle. And personally, I thought that was just a depiction of an old white lady. But I guess they just trying to be safe so they don't get any backlash. I do hope and believe that this was an actual step towards change that these companies are making and not just a cop-out, so that they can clear their hands and clear their names of any wrongdoing. Hopefully any issues between the companies and the families will be settled, whether it's financial, whether it's any type of compensation. After at least 130 years of this, they've said they've listened, they said they've learned, so let's hope that this is real change. Have you noticed any of the changes to these packaging? Maybe you haven't, maybe you just walked past, maybe you haven't even eaten any of it in a while since you was a little kid. Thank you for chopping it up with me today. Also, thank you again for everyone who's been watching. Tell me what you think and share with a friend or something like that. Alright, until next time, peace!